YouTube Going the GOAT House is back. After the 2022 NFL Draft, we're into undrafted free agency signings, and I got my 11 best undrafted free agents. 10 of them have signed. We're going to talk about the teams they signed with. I'm going to rank them from 10 to 1. And there's an 11th guy that hasn't signed yet, maybe at the very top. He hasn't signed yet at the time of recording this video, but I'm excited to break it down and talk about the beasts that should have been drafted here and where they rank and which teams they're going to. So we got a bunch of draft content on the channel, winners, losers, recaps, grades, and more, a lot more to come. We'll do a 2023 way too early mock draft as well, of course, very near future. Follow us on Twitter for all these news updates, more analysis on a bunch of picks that happened today, yesterday, the day before. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on me, much appreciated. Here's our Twitter updates, constantly talking, giving you guys updates, so check it out. On to the undrafted free agency rankings. Number 10, Haskell Garrett from Ohio State. He signed with the Tennessee Titans here in undrafted free agency. Crazy, because about a year ago, maybe even further back, kind of considered a top 50 pick, right, from Ohio State. Beast defensive tackle, powerful dude. And it really dropped, obviously, going from top 50 pick projection to undrafted. I think he maybe suffered a little bit from, well, multiple things. Ohio State struggling to stop the run, kind of a team effort thing. Not the best look there, for players along that unit. But don't really think it was on Garrett, obviously. And doesn't, not the freak athlete. A lot of the defensive tackles drafted have kind of the upside traits. Not too many defensive tackles drafted really either, so teams take their chances undrafted free agency. Titans could use some depth at the position. They grab one with Garrett there. He has a shot to make the team as a depth piece. So he's number 10. Number 9, it's going to be MYRON TAGOVAILOA-AMOSA, Tua's cousin from Notre Dame. Very talented player, and I know why he wasn't drafted. It's because he's kind of a tweener. He's built more like a defensive lineman where he played in the past, but Notre Dame switched him to the edge position this year, where for a guy that's built more like an interior guy, for a guy that's never played edge, he looked pretty damn good at it, I thought. Just a big-time player for them. Impact plays, just a tweener. Where do we put him? Doesn't have the freakish traits we look for as an edge. Is he a defensive lineman with the Raiders? Patrick Graham coming in with that defense. They can use TAGOVAILOA-AMOSA in multiple spots because of his versatility, 3-4 end, off the edge. So I like that a lot. He's just a good ball player. Where do we put him is kind of where teams were thinking here. So really solid pickup. Thought he had a shot to go as high as the 5th, but I was kind of predicting where he would go the 6th, but I thought he's a really good player here. Number 8 is going to be VERONE McKinley from Oregon, the safety, the free safety here. He actually goes to the Miami Dolphins with his former teammate, Javon Holland, and a current teammate too as well. McKinley, free safety. I liked him in coverage. Very good range, good ball skills. Looks a little faster on tape than what he ran. That's a big reason why he dropped. Didn't run, the fastest time. Isn't, the most built guy. Obviously doesn't have the freakish traits everyone's looking for from these defensive positions here. Just a good guy to have in coverage. Dolphins got a lot of guys that are, Javon Holland's a guy that does it all, but they got a bunch of guys that, play around the box, those types of safeties. They can blitz, get a guy that can cover in the back end when you need it. So a rotational guy, a shot to make the team there. He comes in at number 8. Number 7, undrafted free agent, going to be ABRAM Smith. From the running back from Baylor, had a very productive year, more physical than given credit for, quick getting through the hole. And, these guys could work out with the Saints. Saints needing some depth here behind Alvin Kamara. And a guy like ABRAM Smith, I think, legitimately can make the team and actually can make an impact right away. So that kind of helps his ranking. Going to the Saints, having a good shot to make the team, boost them up there a little bit. I've noticed the Saints, and undrafted free agency is still going on right now as I'm talking, but I always like to get this video out right away. But I noticed the Saints are doing a pretty good job. A couple guys that very close to making this list. Talk about Vincent Gray from Michigan. I liked his tape a lot. Just not a big-time playmaker. Very good attacking underneath. And Smoke Monday from Auburn. And they add ABRAM Smith. So I like what the Saints are doing in undrafted free agency here. Number 6 going to be Donovan West. Heading to the 49ers, the Arizona State center, which 49ers really needs, interior offensive linemen in general, guys that can compete at center or guard. I think West is an incredible shot to make the team, really. He was getting some buzz, too. I really thought he can go 4th round, 5th round. So it's a really good one here. For the 49ers, and which comes in at number 6 for that reason. But again, I think he has a shot to not only make the team, but play possibly pretty early on in his career. So I like that one a lot there. Pretty good fit. Number 5 is going to be JOJO DOMANN, who's going to the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, I thought this guy could be drafted possibly in the 4th round. I figured he would probably drop a little bit further than where I had him graded because there was some people talking about, is he going to be a safety? I didn't really see that. I didn't really see that. I don't really think he's lacking much. He had a fun tape, flies around the field. He's just not like a freaky dude. So everyone's looking for a linebacker. So you got to be this freaky dude, freaky length, freaky, 4.4 speed. I'm surprised Domann fell all the way through. I like him at linebacker. Good depth for the Colts, which the Colts, they got a good linebacker group, obviously led by Darius Leonard, but they don't really have the best depth, so they can definitely use Domann, possibly can make the team here. Number 4 is going to be Josh Jobe from Alabama, the cornerback, the physical cornerback here. I mean, he's kind of juiced up, as you can tell. Very good season 2 years ago. Thought, this guy could be a top 50 pick in a year. And he struggled a bit this year. They missed him with some games there, and he much better year 2 years ago. But I'm kind of a believer that our talent really doesn't disappear. So you just got to work with them, get it out of him, obviously. So he goes to the Eagles, and I thought he had a shot. So I was hearing that teams were higher on him than the media, like the week of the draft. And I was thinking for that reason, they believe they can get that past talent out of him. Makes sense, but ends up sliding through. Eagles grab a good corner there. And he ranks number 4 for undrafted free agents. Number 3 is going to be another Alabama player here, and Christopher Allen, the pass rusher. The reason why he didn't get drafted is because he's had multiple injuries in the past. We haven't seen him start a lot. We haven't seen him really play a lot. When we did see him play, it looked like your typical Alabama player. Very good. A lot of, has the ideal traits, a lot of upside, freak athlete, obviously. He's good. He's a very good player. He's got to stay healthy. I thought some team would take a shot at him, even as high as the 4th round, just because he's very solid and has those really elite traits that you look for, close to elite. Broncos definitely could use some pass rush depth if Allen stays healthy throughout camp to prove his worth. I think he'll prove it, and he can make the team there. So he's number 3. Number 2 is going to be the quarterback. Big-time money he got for an undrafted free agent as well. But Eagles pop up on the list twice. Carson Strong, who a lot of people liked. I thought, more I watched him, I was kind of moving him down my board because we know he doesn't, has the injury concern, probably why he dropped out, doesn't move much, but under pressure he definitely does struggle. But he has a great arm, a rocket arm. It really shows up. It's fun to watch. And he throws a good ball as well. So Eagles grab Carson Strong, some good quarterback depth. I thought he could have went in the 4th round. Only downside is kind of feels like Jamie Newman all over again. A little more hope for Carson Strong here, but at the end of the day, it's a very good one, a high-profile one here. Number 1, and again, we got one more player to talk about after this, but I'm going to go Kevin Austin Jr. from Notre Dame, who's a big-time. That's why I'm surprised he wasn't drafted, because it feels like a big-time upside prospect here, because he's really only played 1 season. And he was highly recruited as well, and he basically only got the shot for 1 season, and he was extremely productive, came out of nowhere, made a lot of big-time plays, impact plays, contested catches, sneaky after the catch, and it just felt like this guy's a pretty high recruit for Notre Dame. He's got a freaky build to him. He's a very good contested catcher. He's just getting going, and he's already very solid. And then he gets to the combine. He looks the part, looks even freakier, and he tests even freakier. It's like we see the upside happening, right in front of us here. So I figured he was going to get drafted probably earlier than people had him graded. So I was wrong about that because he ended up slipping through. He was suspended at Notre Dame in the past. I didn't think it was anything concerning long term. Maybe that's the situation there. But talented upside receiver here. Like to see him with Trevor Lawrence, that young offense. I think he has a good shot to make the team. I really thought he can go anywhere between the 3rd and the 5th round. So I thought that was a big-time one there for the Jaguars. Just a big-time upside guy. And then where's Justin Ross going to go? At the time of recording this, let me check my notifications. Nothing. And I record this video pretty much at this time every single year, and the guys I have ranked in the top 10 are already signed. So I go and make the video. This is the first time a guy that would be in my top 10 has not signed, but you get the idea. Justin Ross, one of the top guys. I had Kevin Austin ranked ahead of Justin Ross on my position rankings on my board for this year. And mainly, credit Austin his upside, but mainly because Ross has injury concern, legitimate serious durability issues, and that's why he didn't get drafted, and that's why you move him down your board when we're talking about round grades. But now that we're in undrafted free agency, there's really no risk. You're not using a draft pick on somebody. You're just bringing them in for basically a tryout. You got to pay them some money. Those guys aren't worried about the money, the teams, obviously. So at this point, there's really no risk anymore. You know he has durability issues, but you bring him in and see how he is. He's extremely talented, so that kind of rises him up. So I would actually rank him first. I would actually rank Justyn Ross first because the low risk with the potential high reward, because he's very, very good. We saw it right away when he was a freshman. Ridiculous catches he was making. And then throughout his career, injuries. But then we saw him play in the slot a little bit, looking like a big slot, kind of like like a Juju Smith-Schuster type there. Has the length, big playability. And people will tell you he declined after he got injured. I don't know about that. Production, maybe he was a tiny bit slower. You said the 40 wasn't great. But the big playability, the ball tracking, the ball skills was definitely there. Quarterback play was surprisingly pretty bad for Clemson, and he still was able to show out. But some injuries keep popping up. Some concerning ones for long term. So I don't know if he lasts a long time. Which is a shame. He's very, very talented. He can play outside. He can play that big slot role. He's faster on the field than what he timed. I'm guessing he's, there's no way he's sitting around right now because teams just don't want him because he's got injury concern. There's no way. I see some people saying that there is no way. I think he's deciding between several teams right now, and I think that's a situation. So interesting. I wanted to get this video out here the night the draft ended, like I always do. So you see the top 10 plus a guy I would rank at 1 because the risk is now lowered here in Justyn Ross. So now we wait. Now we can make our predictions in the comments here on where we think Justyn Ross will go. We'll have you kept up to date on Twitter. We'll talk about more. I still haven't really talked about it too much, but on Twitter. But I'll talk about more signings that I liked. Any news that breaks there, we got you. So join us on there. Link down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications on. We have full NFL coverage here. We have a bunch of draft content out covering every day of the NFL draft. There will be more coming with recaps, winners, losers, grades, ranking every draft class. That'll come out in the near future and a lot more there. So join us. It's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.